increasing your value in the marketplace. The world has become a global village, and the internet has become the village square. Today's marketplace is a very, very competitive marketplace. There's a high competition out there, and in order for you to excel, in order for you to be relevant and valuable in today's market, you need to have values. And that's why you need to do everything you can to make sure that you continue to grow, you continue to remain relevant, you continue to remain valuable. In today's marketplace, you have to continue to learn, you have to continue to evolve, you have to continue to innovate, because the day you stop learning, you start dying. In life, when you grow up, you stay up, but when you jump up, you come down. Today's marketplace is so competitive, and there's really no job security out there. There are loads of people that thought that they had job security, loads of people that thought, oh, with the way I'm doing, with what I'm doing, with the way things are going, oh, I'm so sure that all is well with my job. But sometimes people come to work only to discover that there is no work, because the gates have been closed, the company has gone bankrupt. Sometimes people come to work only to discover that their company has been bought over, their company has been acquired, or their company has merged with another company, and then they have to downsize, they have to let people go. There are many of you listening to me right now. You may think you have a job, you may think you have job security, and you may just be 1 week away from losing your job. You may be 1 month away from losing your job. You may be 3 months away from losing your job. There are people listening to me right now that have lost their job. 3 months ago, they never knew they would lose their job. There are people listening to me right now that have just lost their job. Maybe yesterday, you never even knew you were going to lose your job. But today, you are out of job. You need to understand that in order for you to stay valuable, in order for you to stay relevant in today's marketplace, you need to know how to continually increase your value so that the marketplace can continue to see you as a man or a woman that is valuable to them. There is no job security out there. A lot of things have changed in today's world. You find that there are younger competitors out there. I've come to realize that, when we go for interviews today, you see a lot of people, when we are interviewing people for different kind of positions, even whether it's executive positions or not, you find that there are a lot of younger people that are out there that have the degrees and the certification and the skill and the experience. And right now, what has become so real is that being 30, 35 is the new old. So you discover that a lot of people, by the time you are 35, most organizations don't really want you anymore, and you are just amazed. And you see a lot of positions that are out there, and they tell you we need people between the age of 25 to 35, and then you are asking yourself, what's happening? Why? Because the world is changing. For you to be 40 and you're looking for a job, for you to be 45 and you're looking for a job, you're already old. You are old, because even 30 to 35 is the new old in today's world. So there are younger competitors out there. There are people that by the age of 21, 22, 23, before they are 25, they have all kinds of degrees, they have all kinds of experiences, and then you discover that things are not the way they used to be anymore. And that you need to also understand is that today's marketplace is so competitive that you not only have younger competitors, you have foreign competitors. It's not very, very unusual now for you to find that for every job that is being publicized, you have people applying for the same job from all over the world. I'm telling you, you are applying for an executive position, and then you discover that somebody from New York has applied, somebody from London applied, somebody applied from Germany, somebody applied from South Africa, somebody else applied from Japan, and you're like, hello, for this same job here? Because see, a lot of people are out there all over the world, and because the world has become a global village, people are ready to relocate anywhere where they can get a good job, where they can be able to have a job or a career that will help them to be fulfilled. So you need to understand that there is so much competition out there. As a matter of fact, you discover that people are now doing everything they can to have foreign certifications, and because while you are coming with your certificate from one local university, somebody else has gone to a prestigious, internationally recognized and acclaimed university, and they are coming with the certificate. So you are coming with the certificate, and you say, oh, you went to one local university. Somebody is coming with a certificate from Oxford, from Harvard, from Yale, and you are like, hello, in the same job. So the competition is so high. As a matter of fact, in today's world, master's degree is the new normal. Yeah, having a master's degree is the new normal. So for you to just have a BSc and think that you have arrived, BSc is like school cert. It's like just having a college degree right now. So if you're a BSc holder, that's becoming outdated. That's becoming stale. Having a master's degree is the new normal. As a matter of fact, people have 2-3 master's degree right now, even before they're 25. And then you are still there. For people that live in a place like Nigeria, where there is incessant strike and the school is forever on strike, and you find out that a course that you're supposed to spend 4 years, doing, you are still in school after 7 years, you're still in school after 9 years, and then your contemporaries, your colleagues, people all over the world have come out of school, they've done their masters, they're on their second masters, some of them are on their way to doing their PhD, and here you are at 31, you are still in your third year, where somebody else has just completed their PhD. So we need to understand that today's marketplace is very, very competitive. So the job itself is even shrinking. As a result of technology, there is shrinking job in the market today. There are lots of people that are out of job today because technology came. I've met with people, because there's what I call, the endangered species. The endangered species are the people that work in different aspects of the marketplace where technology can just wipe them out. I remember many years ago, in order for you to send the letter, you have to go to the post office, and then you have to get an envelope, you have to get a stamp, you have to now post the letter. But the question, when last did you go to the post office to post a letter? When last? By technology, with the advent of email, first of all it was telegram, then it was fax, and after fax it was email, and then now with text messages, with phone calls, you can even reach people. You can go on Facebook, you can tweet people, you can connect with people. I'm telling you, it's amazing. So people that used to work in the post office, they're wiped out. Before now, you go to the bank, you see all kinds of people there working. But with technology, with cashless society, you don't need too many people anymore. So there are a lot of things that technology has done. A lot of companies have closed down because there is now cheaper labor, and there is now technology to make sure that what an individual is supposed to do, a machine can do it. So you find out that right now, with one machine, 10 people can be sacked, because the machine can now do the job of 10 people. And then guess what? Machine don't come late to work. Machine don't complain. Machine will not complain that they want more salary. Machine will not complain that their job, the environment is not conducive. Machines don't come late. Machines don't give excuses. Machines will not tell you, I'm sick, or my sister is getting married, I want to go on leave. Machine will, and then the cost of maintaining the machine is so small. Machine does not collect pension. Machine does not collect leave allowance. Machine does not collect bonus. Machine does not collect any other thing. So you find out that technology is wiping out a lot of people's job, and these are realities in today's marketplace. So today's marketplace is very, very, very competitive, and you need to continue to increase your value in order for you to stay relevant in the market. Today's marketplace is all about results. I'm telling you, it's all about performance. Results is the key indices in today's marketplace. If you are not producing results, you are out. Gone are the days of longevity of service. He's been with us for 8 years. He's been with us for 15 years. No. Every year you are being evaluated, and you are only secure in that marketplace as long as you are producing. The very minute you stop producing, you are out. As a matter of fact, the marketplace has been structured in such a way that you are trained, raised to raise your successor. So while you are growing up in the marketplace begins to tell you that you need to delegate. The marketplace begins to tell you need to raise and mentor the next generation of people that will be able to do what you are doing. So while you are doing what you're doing in the marketplace, you are actually raising your successor. You are raising the next generation, and as they are raising them, they're going to take over from you. So the more you raise them, the more competent they become, the more you are rated as someone that is good, because you're able to raise somebody that is competent to be able to do what you are doing, and then before you know it, you are out. And guess what? The marketplace today is also very competitive, because there are a lot of people that are ready to do what you are doing at a cheaper cost. So at a cheaper cost, the marketplace can get people that are younger than you, more equipped than you, more qualified than you, to do what you are doing at a cheaper cost. So you really find out that today's marketplace is not a place for people to just sit down, fold their legs, and think that all is well just because you're already in the marketplace. Things are not the way they used to be. So you need to realize that there are changes in the atmosphere. Things have changed, and things that used to work are no more working. The game is the same, but the rules have changed, and it's very, very important for you to know that. So all these things are very, very important. Now, I've come to realize that in order for you to become valuable in the marketplace, there are 5 major factors that needs to be in place to help increase your value. And these 5 things are things that you need to know, and they will really go a long way in helping you. Because if you don't have these 5 things in place in today's marketplace, I'm telling you, I'm not really sure you can go very far. Number 1, you need character. You need character. Character is very, very, very key in today's marketplace. To be valuable, you must continue to increase in character, because genuine people are very scarce in today's world, and integrity is very scarce. So for you to go far today, integrity is something that you must, of necessity, make sure that you have. Without integrity, you don't have a future. Without integrity, you won't go very far. I'm telling you, you will not go very far. Listen and listen well. Are you ready? If you lose money, you have lost something. If you lose things, you have lost something. If you lose your health, you have lost not just something, you have lost a very valuable thing. But if you lose your character, you have lost everything. So character is very key. Learn from what is happening in today's world. Look all around you, from the sports world to the political world to the business world, even to the religious world. There are all kinds of things happening, and you'll be amazed. We've seen a lot of people come out to say, I'm sorry, because they've fallen from grace to grass. We've seen a lot of people come to publicly apologize for their indiscretion, publicly apologize for their integrity problem, whether it's moral integrity, financial integrity, spiritual integrity. They've messed up and they've had to come out. But we've seen people fall, and like I've always said, don't bother to rise if you plan to fall. Don't bother to rise if you plan to fall. So we've seen corporate executives being sent out of office in shame. We've seen political leaders resigning in shame. We've seen sports people and spiritual leaders being messed up as they fall from grace to grass. Why? Because of lack of character, because of lack of integrity. One of the things I've come to realize in life is that sin, are you ready? Sin will take you farther than you are willing to go, keep you longer than you are willing to stay, and cost you more than you are willing to pay. Sin will take you farther than you are willing to go, keep you longer than you are willing to stay, and cost you more than you are willing to pay. So the best thing is, don't even bother to start. If you know you are going to fall, don't bother to rise. If you know you're not going to take integrity and character serious, don't bother to be hardworking to try to become anything meaningful, because if you get up there and you fall, you are falling. And let me tell you something, in the world that we live in today, people don't give second chances to people, except they are the one that need the second chance. Yeah, people don't give people second chance. They don't give people the benefit of a doubt, except they are the ones that need the second chance or need the benefit of the doubt. That's when they expect it. So do everything you can to be a person of character. Discover what character is all about. Discover what integrity is all about. Do everything you can to develop your character and develop integrity, and make sure that you adhere to values and principles that really matter. Because in today's world, we have lost main values. People tell lies with ease. Corruption has become a major issue. Character flaw is normal. People celebrate mediocrity, and in this world that we live in today, you see that a lot of people, corrupt people, are celebrated. Liars are elevated, and people that just because we have placed so much emphasis on things instead of values. So you find out that when people have money, people don't care where they get their money from. They don't care how they got the money. All they want to know is, you've got the money. And then you see a lot of things being endorsed, a lot of things being celebrated. And even if you look at the way people live today, the way they dress, the way they talk, the different things that we try to push, you discover that values are really lost. And if you are not a man or a woman of character, a man or a woman of integrity, you are not going to go far. Today's marketplace is so competitive that having integrity is a leverage. Having integrity is a leverage. And if you really want to be, exceptional in a world where there is lack of character, where there is lack of integrity, having integrity and character will stand you out in the crowd. It will mark you out as a valuable individual, and that is very, very key. Number two, second thing that will help you to be able to increase your value in the marketplace is competence. Competence is not just enough to be valuable. It's very important for you to be very, very competent, because if you are not competent, you are not going to go far. The marketplace is not a playground. Today's marketplace is not the place to come and play. It's a place to come and offer results and produce results. I'm telling you, the boardroom is not a bedroom. Yes, the boardroom is not a bedroom. Today's boardroom is very tough. So for you to be able to survive as an individual, as an employee, as an executive, or as someone in the marketplace, you must be a man or a woman of competence. And what I've realized, that competence is dwindling in today's world. I'm telling you, as a matter of fact, the quality of graduates that are being churned out of the university today, you begin to ask yourself, did these people really go to school? A lot of people are out there, they are saying there's no job, and there's so much unemployment. But for those of us that have been in business, it's not really a matter of there's no employment. Sometimes it's a matter of these guys are unemployable. I'm telling you, most of the graduates we have there, they are unemployable, very incompetent. And you are asking yourself, did you really go to school? They can't speak good English. They can't write letters without mistake. They can't use their initiative. They can't manage things on their own. They can't improvise. They have to be told what to do and shown how to do it. They have to be micromanaged. You see them with high dreams. They have big dreams but small mind. They want big salary but little or no input in their establishment. They can't meet targets and produce results. They are so unserious, major areas of their life. They major on minor and minor on major. They have short attention span. They have less fruitful hours. You have to, I'm telling you, it's very frustrating today to be able to get valuable people to work with. You look around, you seem to be surrounded by a lot of incompetent people, and you have to be following them up and micromanaging them and finding out how far for you to get something done. I'm telling you. So today's marketplace, competence is dwindling. I've got another audio program, another masterclass on staffing your business, staff recruitment and retention strategy. You need to get that audio program, especially for those of you that have your own business. It will help you to know how to get staff, how to recruit them, how to retain them at different levels. Because today's marketplace, one of the things that kills business is staff incompetence. Staff incompetence. They are not producing, yet they are expecting salary every 4 weeks, every 2 weeks. Everyone, they are expecting salary, they are expecting increment in salary. And you are asking yourself, what have you brought to the table? So competence is very, very key. One of the major challenges I have is people that cannot take initiative. I'm telling you, incompetence, for me, when you are an incompetent person around me, you won't last. You won't. Because I just cannot stomach incompetence for anything. Because why will I labor to get money and I will be paying you when you are not bringing something to the table? It does not work like that. Emotion and sentiment does not work. So you need to be a competent person. And one key issue or one key aspect that will help you to be competent is your ability to take initiative and produce results and be able to do the task that is ahead of you. Because there are different levels of initiative. We can't really go into all that because of the limited time we have. So you can get my other materials or the School of Money book, because there are people that wait until they are told what to do. They can't take initiative. Sometimes you get to the office and then you see a lot of people just loitering around. What are you doing? And I'm just waiting for the next instruction. They have not told me what to do. They have not told you what to do. Were you not employed? Did you not have, an employment letter? Was your job description not there? Even if you are not told what to do, can't you find something to do to add value to the organization? And there are people that, they don't wait to be told what to do. They come and ask you, sir, what can I do, sir? I'm through with the last assignment. What else can I do, sir? And there are people that don't even come, and they even come to make recommendation. They come and say, sir, I'm thinking about this. I've been thinking about that. I'm thinking we should do this. Concerning the last meeting we I thought over it, and that's when you begin to see that, wow. Because see, if somebody goes beyond the office hours to begin to think about your job and then comes back to offer ideas and recommendation, that tells you that this person is more valuable than the others, because that means they are competent enough and they are committed enough to go beyond the office time to continue to think about your business. And then there are people that you give assignments to and they never come to give you a report. You have to go and ask them, how far with what I told you to do? And then you are like, oh, sorry, sir, I finished it. I was waiting to see you. Waiting to see me? Can't you send me an email? Can't you bring a report and submit it on my table? And I have to come and ask you? People don't have initiative. So why some people are saying that there is no job, there are people that are being headhunted. I'm telling you, headhunting has become a norm in today's corporate world. Today's marketplace is so competitive that you are telling them there's no job, I've been looking for a job, and the person that has a job, they are also I'm telling you, with this LinkedIn, I'm telling you, I've gotten about 3 different calls in the last 2 years from different parts of the world. People trying to come, they want me to come and work for them. I'm like, look, I'm a CEO of my own company. I run a group of company. I'm not looking for a job. They say, no, we've seen some things you've done and we want you to come over. How much do you want us to pay you? Well, I'm like, hello, I'm not looking for a job. And that's the same thing with a lot of people. There are people out there that have good jobs that they are enjoying, and then people are still calling them for another job. And then there are people out there telling me there's no job and nobody's ready to employ them. Listen and listen well. How competent are you? So you need character to be valuable. Number 2, you need competence to be valuable. Number 3, you need capacity. Yes, you need what? Capacity. The size of your tank determines the water you can contain. Your capacity determines how far you go. You need capacity in today's marketplace. Without capacity, today's marketplace, you cannot go far. So you need to be a man or a woman of capacity, because there are a lot of people that have very low capacity, and that's why you need to continue to increase your capacity so that you can remain valuable in the marketplace. Multitasking has become the key in today's market. Yes, multitasking, your ability to multitask is very important. Because gone are the days when you just do only one thing. And that's why you see a lot of people, they are just one skilled people. They have only one skill. I've seen people that have worked in the banking sector for 20 years, 15 years. All they can do is just one thing. Collect money, do entry. Collect money, do entry. Just doing entries every day for 10, 15 years. And you say you have a job. And then when they lose their job, they discover how limited they are. They now realize that they can't do anything else, because all they have done is just one mono task, mono skill, and they don't know nothing else to do. So you have to be multi-skilled. You have to be able to multitask. You have to be able to do 2, 3, 4 things at the same time, or else you will not be able to go far. In those days, I remember, in order for you to be an executive, as an executive, you're going to have a driver, you're going to have a PA, you probably have a secretary, you have, a lot of staff attached to you as an executive. But in today's marketplace, things like that are no more there, except for people that want to waste money. So as an executive, you've got to be your own driver, you've got to be your own secretary, you've got to be your own PA. You have to have your laptops, your iPad, your PDAs. You have to have all kinds of gadgets to be able to manage yourself. It's only in the political world, in a place like Nigeria, where people, are, where recurrent expenditure is greater than capital expenditure, where people spend more money on salaries and ghost workers than on building structures and building infrastructure. That things like that still happen, where you have, you have a political office holder, and then he has an advisor, and then they have special advisor, and then they have senior special advisor, and then they have the advisor to the advisor, and the assistant to the advisor. All this kind of nonsense only goes on in a world of little vision and limited myopic mindsets. But in today's marketplace, work is serious. You must be able to multitask and do 2, 3, 4, 5 things together at the same time. So you need to be a man or a woman of capacity. I'm telling you, in today's marketplace, you must keep growing. You must keep developing. You must keep evolving. You must keep innovating. You must keep creating in order for you to be valuable. And that's why there's a difference between skilled and unskilled laborer. see a lot of people, they are called skilled laborers. Some people are called unskilled laborers. It's all a function of their capacity. It's a function of their capacity. Now, you need to understand that if you are not a man or a woman of capacity, you cannot go far. If, for instance, you are in an organization or you are in the marketplace working, and you're already complaining about your job, you're already complaining about the workload, you're already complaining about the schedule, you're already complaining about what you have been asked to do. Question: who will now give you more responsibility? Who will now promote you? If you are complaining of the responsibilities and the workload at the level you are in, that simply means you can't go beyond that level. Because if they give you any other responsibility or put any other task on you, you are going down. Yes, you are going down because you can't handle it. I give you an example. In Nigeria today, we still have power problems. So most companies, most homes use generators. But generators have different power capacity. You have generators that go from 1.5 kVA to as much as 2000 kVA generators. Now, question: if you have a 10 kVA generator, that means it cannot carry any load beyond 10 kVA. As a matter of fact, you should actually just allow it to carry anything between 5 to 7 or 8 and leave room, for the generator to be able to function well. Now, if you now have a 10 kVA generator and you put 20 kVA load on the 10 kVA generator, what happens? The 10 kVA generator will probably carry the load for 2 seconds and it will shut down. That's what happens. Your capacity is your ability to handle responsibility. Your capacity is your ability to multitask, your ability to do a lot of things and do it exceptionally well. Your capacity is your ability to be able to produce results in many areas and be able to have other people, attached to you, and you still, take care of things. So listen and listen well. If you cannot, I'm telling you, if you cannot carry the load, you can't go far. So today's world, you need to have capacity. You need to have capacity, because I give you an example. I've seen people that have a job. You've given them a job to do, and then they're always complaining, I've got so many things to do, I've got a lot of workload. Every time you're asking them about something that they are supposed to have done, they are using that opportunity to tell you of how many things they are doing, which they are indirectly telling you, I'm doing so much, so if I have not been able to do that, you should understand. And then while they are telling you that, no, I would have done it, but I'm here to finish this one, and then the other one, I'm the only one that is doing this. They are always trying to tell you they are doing so many things. Question: if you want to promote somebody and give them more responsibility, will you promote such people? No, because they are already telling you they are doing enough. So to now bring more job on their head, it means you are going to kill them. So that is how a lot of people find themselves remaining the same in the marketplace, and they think, but I'm doing a lot, and they are not appreciating because you are forever complaining about what you are doing. And no wise person will give more job to somebody that is complaining about the only job they have now. They won't give you more job. So when it comes to organizations, and when it comes to the level of hierarchy and how you can go far, your capacity is very important. For instance, we have what I call the highly capable individuals. The highly capable individual. Now, the highly capable individual is an individual that is very capable when it comes to doing the job that you have given to them. But now, even though they are highly capable individuals because they can do the job you give to them, they need to be able to increase their capacity beyond that level and move to the next level of hierarchy, which is what I call a contributing team member. Because there are people that are highly capable, but they are not good team players, because they have not increased their capacity enough to be able to have other people on board with them and work well with other people. And if you are an individual that is very highly capable, but you are not a good team player, you can't go far. So that's another level of capacity you need to develop to be able to work with other people. But apart from that, the third level of hierarchy you need to work towards is to increase your capacity to be able to become a competent manager. So it's not just enough working with team or working with other people. You are supposed to now increase your capacity to a level where you cannot just work with people but manage people. So you are now a manager, an effective, competent manager, where you can manage a lot of other teams. So you are a capable individual. You need to increase your capacity to be able to work with a team. And then you need to increase your capacity to be able to become what? To become a competent manager that can now manage other teams and manage other people. And then you need to now increase your capacity again to be able to become an effective leader that can manage an entire organization or an entire project. And then you need to now also increase your capacity to become an executive that can run things and run corporations. And that's so you are forever learning, you are forever increasing. So if you don't increase your capacity, you will not go far in life, especially in today's marketplace. So you have a lot to do. So it's very important. Number 4, because of my time, you need courage. You need courage. If you are going to be valuable in today's marketplace, you need to be a man or a woman of courage, because without courage, you can't go far. You need courage to be able to conquer tasks. You need courage to be able to execute projects. You need courage to be able to face challenges. You need courage to be able to outrun competitors. You need courage to be able to survive the changing economic climate. You need courage to swim on despite diverse government policies and different, infrastructural deficiencies that will limit you. You need courage. So if you are not a courageous man, a courageous woman in today's marketplace, you cannot go far. Listen and listen well. Courage is not the absence of fear. No. Courage is not the absence of fear, but courage is moving on despite your fear. Courage is the ability to go on regardless of the fear you feel or the fear you have. Courage is not the absence of fear, but courage is being the only one who knows you are afraid. So nobody else knows you are afraid. You are the only one that knows you are afraid, and you keep going on, fear or no fear. So you need to be a man of courage. A man of character needs courage to stay true to their principle. Yes, a man of character needs courage to stay true to their principle so that you will not compromise. A man of competence needs courage to go on despite mockery and despite opposition. A man of capacity needs courage to take on all kinds of responsibilities. You need courage to continue to do that. A man of courage is very, very key in this world that we live in today. So you need to do everything you can. I mean it, everything you can for you to be all that you need to be. You need it. The snail and the tortoise only makes progress when they stick their neck out. So you must keep pressing on. You must stay courageous. You must keep doing all that you need to do and not allow anything to stop you. In today's marketplace, people are not looking for employees. You know who they are looking for? They are looking for entrepreneurs. Yeah. Employers are looking for entrepreneurs. They are looking for people that will come on board and be a part of the business, that will come on board and be committed to the business to a level where you are ready to help build the company. So once you come and now you are thinking of a salary, you can't go far. And that's the deficiency of today's world. I just come in, I know you are thinking a salary. You see a lot of people, they are working just to come and earn. They are not working to learn. And that's why they remain the same, because they are not learning anything. You don't work to earn, you work to learn. Because if you work to learn, you are going to be able to earn more. Because the more you learn, the more you earn. But if you are just working to come and earn, you are not going to go far. So a wise person works to learn and not to earn. But average people work to earn and not to learn. So you must work to learn and not to earn. So when you come on board and you are thinking of how you can learn and help the company to go far, it will go a long way in helping you, and you're going to be more valuable. So you need character, you need competence, you need capacity, you need courage, and finally, number 5, you need culture. You need culture. Call it brand, call it ethics, call it protocol, call it experience. No matter what you call it, you need culture. Because for every organization, for every industry, there are things that matter to them. For every organization, for every industry, there are things that matter to them. And you must be able to blend in with the ethics and protocol of the organization. If you don't blend in, you bleed out. Yes. If you don't blend in, you bleed out. And that's why when people are employed, you go through an orientation period. They take you through an orientation, they take you through an induction training. You go through a probation. What do you think that's all about? It's all about making you to become cultured, making you to become a man or a woman that is knowledgeable about the industry and the organization you are coming to work for. For instance, in the In the marketplace today, there are general marketplace ethics and protocol. There are ethics and protocol of the corporate world. There are ethics and protocol of the marketplace that are general. But apart from that, there are also industry specific ethics, industry specific protocols, industry specific culture. There are specific cultures that are peculiar to different industry and different. So if you want to operate in that particular industry or in that particular market, you must know the culture of that market. So if you don't know the culture of that market, there's going to be trouble. For instance, when lawyers go to court, they call the judge my lord. Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. That's the culture. They wear their gown, they wear their wig. That's the culture. When doctors go, they have their stethoscope, they have their gown, their uniform. That's the culture. Military people is obey before you complain. When you're in military, whether somebody is younger than you or not is not the issue. As long as they are your senior in hierarchy, you respect them. So these are all called. But for you to go there and say, hello, you this small boy, how can you be talking to me like that? I'm old enough to be your father. No. But that's your senior. That's insubordination. I'm telling you. Or you go to the court as a lawyer and say, I can't call you my lord. You are not a lord. You are not a human being like me. What is my lord? You are not my lord. So that's what happens. You can't go into a school or you go into the military and tell them, I don't like the color of the uniform. You have to change the uniform. I don't like that color. It doesn't work like that. So what I see people doing today is that they go into the marketplace and they're fighting cultures. I'm telling you, you go into the marketplace and you are fighting the culture of the marketplace. You go into an organization and instead of you to find out what works within the organization and what they need, what they believe, you are coming up with your own culture and trying to get them to all change their culture to line up with your own culture. It does not work like that. I tell people that come to work in my organization, I say, look, you are here, look around. There are a few things I don't like. There are a few things this organization does not like, because integrity and excellence is the core value of this organization. So for us as an organization, everything we do is all about integrity and it's all about excellence. So I tell them, anything that is contrary to integrity is a problem. I tell them, in this organization, there is a moral clause. Yes, there is a moral clause to your existence in this place. Yes, it's a corporate world. Yes, it's a business world. But because integrity and excellence is very key to us, those are our core values, your personal life, your morality will determine whether you will still continue to work here. The day something goes wrong morally in your life and something goes wrong in the area of your integrity, you can no more continue to work for us, even if you are doing well with your job. So I tell them so that they will know that. Because many times people don't realize that there's a morality clause and a morality dimension to work in. So you think, oh, but that's my personal life, but I'm doing my job. No, not in my own organization, maybe somewhere else. And that I tell them from day one so that they will know. So when you are going to work in an industry or you are going to work in a place, these are all different things you need to find out. What's the culture? You can't go into the market and expect everybody to change for you. You are the one that will blend in to the market. This is very, very important. So there are cultures that you must avoid. I call them cancerous cultures that you must avoid if you are going to go for in the marketplace. Number one, avoid criticism. Going to a place and you're just criticizing everything, criticizing everybody, you will not go for. Avoid complaining. It's a cancer. Stop complaining. Every time you're always complaining, you won't last. You will not last if you're a complainer. Avoid competing, unhealthy competition, unhealthy rivalry. It won't last. You will just discover that you're going to hurt yourself. Avoid comparing yourself with people, undue comparison. Comparing themselves with themselves, measuring themselves with themselves. They are not wise. Stop comparing yourself with people. And avoid contention, avoid contending. So criticism, complaining, competing, comparing, and contending are things that you must be very, very careful of in today's marketplace. So listen and listen well. It is results that put an end to insults. So you must make yourself valuable by creating value. I've come to realize in life that if you do more than you are paid to do, you will end up being paid more than you do. And now that brings me to, the next thing we need to ask ourselves: how do you see value? Because I've discovered that a lot of people are sincere, but they are sincerely wrong. Because they come into the marketplace with emotion and sentiment, and they just feel that, hey, but how can they treat me like that? I've been there for a long time. Hello, Where did you learn that being in a place for a long time is now a license for you to become incompetent, or a license for you to not produce results? The marketplace is a place for results. I tell people every time we employ people in my organization, the first thing I tell them is, please, you are not employed to come and make friends. You are not employed to come into this place and just have a job. You are employed to come and solve a problem. Every time there is a vacancy advertised, every advertisement is a cry for help. So whenever you see an organization telling you they need an accountant, that means in our accounts department we need help. Every time you see somebody say we need a customer service staff, what they're telling you is that in our customer service we need help. Every time you see somebody telling you we need a marketer, what they're telling you is we need help. So they don't need a new friend, they don't need an additional expenses, they don't need an additional staff, they need a helper. So if you are coming on board, you are coming to help, you are coming to solve a problem. So you need to ask yourself, what exactly are the problems that are being faced in this organization? Why am I employed? What am I supposed to do now? Once you get in there, you start doing it. So you need to understand that if I tell you I need an accountant, I don't need a friend, I don't need an extra salary to pay. No, I need someone to come in and help in my accounts department. So if you are not coming to solve a problem, you're not going to last. If you're not coming to add value, you're not going to last. And that's very, but say, well, I come very early, and then that's not the issue. You come early, but do you perform? Do you perform? And most of the time people don't realize this. The fact that you have worked so hard does not mean anything if the result does not come out. Can you imagine you've been given a target and then you work for 20 hours and yet you did not meet the target? As far as that organization is concerned, you are not valuable. It's not a matter of how many hours you put in, it's not a matter of how hardworking you are, it's a matter of did you produce results. And that's a very, very major issue in today's marketplace that people don't understand. They are just like, but I did all I'm supposed to do, I did everything, and yet they still didn't appreciate it. Listen, it is only results that is appreciated in today's marketplace. It is only results that can put an end to insults. Where there is no results, whatever you have done does not really matter. It is when you produce result that what you have done is now justified. That's when people will now say, oh, no, it's very hardworking. Oh, it's very good. It's a very valuable staff. Why? Because you produce results. If you don't produce results, no matter what you have done, emotion and sentiment is not the issue here. It doesn't really matter. Now, so how do you see value? Because sometimes you may think you are very valuable and the organization doesn't see you as a valuable individual because you have not solved their problem. You have not helped them. You have not fulfilled the reason for your employment. And then there's that conflict. You are thinking you're valuable. You are thinking that they are defrauding you. You are thinking they don't appreciate you, and they are thinking you are just a clog in the wheel. They are thinking you are just an expenses. They are thinking you are an overhead. They are thinking that the money they are paying you is just a waste. And then there is that continual battle between the employer and the employee. And most of the time, everybody thinks they are right until you lose your job, because at the end of the day, you're the one that will lose your job. So you've got to realize that it's time to be valuable in the marketplace. There are about 8 different ways to look at the issue of value. And if you get my book, The School of Money, you will be able to see a lot of things. I've written a book called The School of Money. It's a book that helps you to know how to make, manage, and multiply your money, and also serve as a blueprint for entrepreneurs. You need to get that book. It will help you a lot. Many things are shared in that book. So number 1, there is intrinsic or inherent value. What we call intrinsic or inherent value. And now this is a value that is inbuilt in you. It's a value that comes as a result of nature. So once you come into this world, for instance, you realize that every individual is valuable. That's why we value life. Just because you are an individual, from the very minute you are conceived, you are valuable. Once you have life, you are valuable. So that is intrinsic value. It's a value that is inherent in every individual because the Creator created you as a valuable individual. So everybody is valuable. Nobody is useless. Intrinsically, inherently, there is no useless person. For instance, if you take a note right now, I don't know what country you're in. If you're in Nigeria, you will spend naira. If you're in the UK, you spend the pounds. If you're in European nations, you have the euro. America, you have the dollars. So no matter where you are, if you take a note in your hand, that money, that note, that currency is valuable. Guess what? It is valuable because there is an inherent value in it by virtue of the fact that it has been accepted as a legal tender. Now, if you squeeze it, it doesn't change the value. If you fold it, it doesn't change the value. If you step on it, it doesn't change the value. Why? Because it is inherent. So for you as an individual, no matter what you go through in life, whether you are educated or not, whether you are an illiterate or not, local or not, no matter what, you are valuable inherently because the Creator has created you as an instrument of value. But far and beyond that, you need to realize that in the marketplace, even though you are an individual, they know you are an individual, you are alive, you are breathing, that's not necessarily what they are looking for. So these are things we need to understand. So number one is inherent or intrinsic value. The second kind of value is passive value. It's a function of perception, and in today's world, perception is as powerful as reality, and that's why you have to be careful about perception. And that's why people spend a lot of money managing perception, because perception management is a key issue in today's marketplace. People see you before they hear you. You don't have a second chance to make a first impression. So your perception is very, very key. So passive value is, a value that people perceive you to have. It can be real, it can be fake. There are many things that people value that some people don't value. I don't know if you watch some of these, fashion shows, and people on the runway, and you see a lot of people, and you are like, hello. There are a lot of people that value that. They're like, wow, oh, she's beautiful. Oh, is this, is that, and you're like, this one. And sometimes you are like, these guys need to eat. They look hungry. But that's what they value there. So you begin to wonder. So she's got very good bones, neck bone, and this and that. So it's all a function of perception. Some people value things that you are asking yourself, what do they see in what they are valuing? It's a function of perception. Now, another thing you need to understand is that there is historic or known value. There are things that are valuable as a result of history. That with time, that's why you see a lot of people that they go after artifacts and artwork, and you are like, what is in this? You see something like a skull or a skeletal bone, or you see some stuff, and they're like, oh, that's an archaeological finding that was dug up from the Atlantic. It was dug up from Malaysia, and you are like, look, what's this? But historically, it has historical value. It has a known value. When you talk about, cars, you have cars like Ferrari. You have the Mercedes Benz, and you're like, wow, it's a Benz, it's a Ferrari. Why? These are known value. These are historical value, because over the years, these things have gained value and have become known as valuable things. Another way to look at value is declared or sold value. Declared or sold value has to do with what people are prepared to pay, because sometimes you'll be amazed at what people are prepared to pay for something. Sometimes you see some auction and you hear that somebody paid one ridiculous amount, or they are auctioning some clothes or some things that belongs to some of the celebrities in today's world, and then you hear that somebody is buying a celebrity's sunglasses for some ridiculous money, or they bought their glove or their shoe, or they bought their heart, or somebody bought a painting, and you are looking at the painting like this, and they are telling you this painting is worth millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're like, hello, what is so special about this? It's because you can see it. That's another kind. And then there's also implied value. Implied value, is very, very important, because it's also the value that comes as a result of the way you see something. And that's very, very important. Very, very, very important. If somebody, I remember when I went to Harvard and came back, the fact that I went to Harvard, a lot of people just implied, it's by implication. Having gone to Harvard, then that means you must be an intelligent person. And sometimes you begin to, as a matter of fact, I remember going to a program some time ago. I was being interviewed, and before I was going for the interview, I was told that, well, because they didn't really know much about me, they were very skeptical about having me on board to be interviewed for the discussion they wanted to have. And I said, well, no problem. I didn't call for it. You guys wanted me to come. So if you want me to come, I come. If you don't see how valuable I am, that's not important. I'm not begging for it. So at the end of the day, they allowed me to come on board, and it was a wow. And I remember when we're through, the host of the program now told me and said, you know what? I've been doing this for many years, for almost 16 years. Nobody has intellectually challenged me the way you did today. You spoke so well, you spoke so good, and you are so knowledgeable about the topic that I began to realize that there are many things I don't know. And I said, well, that's what I do for a living, and that's what I've been doing for years. And she made a statement that made me to laugh. She said, wow, this Harvard thing must really be very powerful. That means Harvard really helps. And I'm like, hello, so are you trying to say that all I've done is because I went to Harvard? I said, everything I've said, I've been saying it before I ever went to Harvard. I didn't get all I got or know all I know because I went to Harvard. How long did I stay in Harvard? But you see, that's an implied value. Just because you have been to Harvard and back, somebody thinks, oh yeah. So it's implied value. Now, apart from that, there is influenced value. Now, influence value is a value that comes as a result of a third-party influence. Somebody can influence you to begin to value something you did not value before they came in to influence you. So it's based on the impression that the third party gives to you. So for instance, now you may see a particular thing and you don't value it, and then somebody can say, oh, you don't know about it? No, let me tell you about it. And they begin to tell you, and before you know it, by virtue of their own recommendation, by virtue of the impression they have made and given to you, you just begin to value that thing, not because you saw value in it initially, but because they have been able to help you to be able to see value, and they've been able to influence you to see it as something that is valuable. Another kind of value is cultural or exoteric value. Now, cultural or exoteric value is something that has to do with culture. So what one culture values, another culture disdains. There are things you do in one culture that will be valuable. If you go to another culture and you do it, it will be seen as an insult. There are things, there are some value, some cultures you go to where if somebody offers you something, you can't tell them no, you must accept it. Yeah, so you must accept it. To say no or reject what they have offered will be like an insult in their own culture. So and that's why in different organizations it's also that way. You must know, because what one industry values, another industry does not value. For instance, if you're an engineer, there are things that people in the engineering world value that people in the medical world may not value, or that people in the educational world may not value. There are things that people in the educational world value that people in the legal profession may not value, or that people in the sports world may not value. So you need to understand that as you go from country to country, culture to culture, industry to industry, there are values. And now these cultural values also matter a lot, and these are things that every individual needs to note if they are going to be all that they need to be. And then finally, number 8, the final kind of value is the marketplace value. Now, and that is what you really need to understand with reference to succeeding in the marketplace. Now, marketplace value is what the marketplace is looking for. So you need to ask yourself, what are they looking for in the marketplace? Because see, you may be inherently valuable. Yeah, you may be valuable by virtue of history. But if the people don't know your history, that's it. If they know your history, then they can come to add on to you and come and poach you from one company to come to work for them. But if they don't know your historical value, they don't know what you've been able to do, they don't know your track record. So listen, in the marketplace value is all about what the market you are planning to succeed in is looking for, what the market you are planning to operate in values, and that's what you should be giving to them. If you are not giving them what they value, if you are not giving them what they are looking for, then to them you are not valuable. It doesn't mean you are not a valuable individual, but to them you are not a valuable person, because what they are looking for you can't offer. And that's the missing link. A lot of people don't realize. They say, but excuse me, you can't tell me I'm not a nobody. I know who I am. Nobody is arguing about who you are, but in this particular place, what we need, you are not giving it to us. And that's why we are telling you bye-bye. So these are very, very important things you need to learn in today's marketplace.